finished the manuscript, and now starts the hard part. I think we always think that the hard part is the storytelling, which it can be a challenge, but this is going to be kind of a whole nother challenge on a whole different level. And that challenge is the revision process. And in this video, I want to kind of walk you through what I'm thinking in order to take this messy first draft and make it into something that you guys will enjoy. So if this is something that you're interested in, stick around. Writer, and I am in the process of publishing my first novel. And in this channel, I'm walking you through the good, the bad, the ups and downs of everything of what it takes to become an indie author. So I finished the manuscript. It's sitting at 116,000 words. It's an absolute disaster, like an absolute disaster. I know that there are scenes that aren't finished. I know that there are scenes that just don't make sense. Like, I was reading through some of it the other day and I was like, oh my God. Like, what made me think that this was good in the moment? And I gotta kind of tell you, there was this moment too where I had to fight against, you know, my insecurities and fight against imposter syndrome and just kind of say, look, it's gonna be okay. Like, it's supposed to be a hot mess. The next phase, which is what this whole series is gonna be about, is the revision process and the edit process of taking this absolute disaster of a manuscript and making it into an enjoyable story that you guys will absolutely love. So I want to walk you through what I'm thinking as far as, you know, just kind of creating a plan, like a substantial plan, a plan that isn't going to be overwhelming for me, but it's going to kind of push me along in order to get this story published. So in order for me to kind of get this manuscript to the level that it needs to be, is I want to create a revision plan. But before I create a revision plan, I want to kind of also set a schedule and give myself a deadline as to when I want this revision and these edits to be done. I want to give myself Q2, the second quarter, to kind of get everything done. I think giving myself 3 months, especially because I'm a new writer, this is all new to me, it's going to give me kind of like the grace period and the learning curve to make sure that I'm editing the manuscript and revising the manuscript and then editing the manuscript in the way that I will be proud of, and that I will also be, you know, producing the cleanest draft possible. I'm thinking that I want to break down the manuscript into 2. And so, you know, we'll call it part A and then part B. I want to get through part B by the end of April, and today is April 9th. So by April 30th, just about 20 something days left of the month to get it done. And then I want to tackle part B by, you know, in the month of May. So that way I can be finished and start edits, you know, ideally in June. And hopefully it won't take me, you know, past June to just kind of really do those edits. The way I'm going to tackle that is, the first step is I'm going to go scene by scene, and I'm going to look for various points, various elements within the story that are needed in order to make the story appealing. So I read the book, The Secrets to Editing Success by Christina Stanley and Lucy Cook. If you don't know who Christina Stanley is, she is the founder and creator of Fictionary. And I highly recommend that if you're, you know, finishing up your manuscript and you're looking for a good craft book to read, that you read that one. One of the things that Christina and Lucy kind of urge you to do is to make sure that you're testing to see if you even have a story. And the way that you test it is making sure that you have your 5, what they call story arcs, or really they're just your 5 main plot points, which is the inciting incident, plot point 1, middle plot point 2, and climax. And Christina and Lucy are stating if any of those major plot points or story arcs are missing within your story, then you have an unfinished manuscript. And they really advise you to go back and add those scenes into your story. And then there are also what they call the 38 story elements, which are kind of like the essence, I guess is the best way to kind of describe it, of what makes a scene really pop out and be enjoyable for a reader. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a revision plan. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to set a deadline as to when I want to be done with this story. And what I'm thinking is, if I want to be done by the quarter, that will give me 3 months. In my mind, I kind of have this goal that I want to be able to publish the manuscript in the fall. I'm shooting for September, the latest October, and if everything goes well, God willing, I'll be able to do that. Obviously, you know, life happens, life constantly happens, and I may need to make adjustments to that, but that's kind of like the overarching goal that I have for myself, is to publish by the fall. So one of the things that I wanted to do is kind of create a series for you guys, and really, because I've said I wanted to walk you through this journey of what it's gonna take, or what the process is to really become a published author. And so I'm creating this series that's gonna walk you through how I'm tackling taking those 116,000 words and just put it all together, so that I'm creating a body of work that not only will I be proud of, but it will also be a story that all of you will enjoy. I think it's important to know that there's a difference between revisions and edits. Revisions is when you're really kind of looking at the entire manuscript, but you're going scene by scene, and you're kind of identifying areas that are, you know, strong, areas that are weak, and areas that need improvement. And that also kind of gives you a sense of, you know, whether the scene is a scene that you can keep, it's a scene that needs to be revised in some way, rewritten, or if it's a scene that needs to be eliminated altogether. I think sometimes most novice writers will make the mistake and just automatically go into edits. But if you're not really kind of looking at the essence of what makes a scene, then you're really kind of editing a scene that may not be structurally sound, that may be missing, you know, elements that kind of make that scene pop. And I think that could then make, you know, just the developmental edits a little bit more complicated, because you're not giving the cleanest possible draft to the developmental editor. And as we know, developmental edits are expensive. Like it makes no sense. Like, I know it makes sense, but it's expensive. You're looking at $2,000 to do a developmental edit, and that doesn't include the copy edits. It doesn't include the proofreading that needs to be done. So yeah, publishing is not is not cheap, and is not for the faint of heart. By creating a revision plan based off of the tools and the skills that Christina and Lucy have suggested in the book, you're going to be able to produce a draft that's going to be, you know, the cleanest draft possible for developmental edit. My plan is to go through the manuscript scene by scene, look for those story elements, look for those, you know, those items that are going to make the scene pop, and make sure that I have it. And if I don't have it, then I'm going to add it in during the edits. The revision process will also kind of give me a bird's eye view of what scenes are working, what scenes do I need to rewrite, and what scenes can I just get rid of altogether. I already know that I have marked a big X on a scene that I was like, no, absolutely not. Like, in the moment, it sounded good. But as I've had time to distance myself from that scene and just kind of reading it again, and I think just my skills as a writer have strengthened, the scene just made absolutely no sense and served no purpose into the story. So yeah, so that's my goal. My goal is to create a revision plan, work through that revision plan, and I want to share the process with you guys over the next few weeks as to how I'm progressing. So if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. Leave a little, I'm being fresh. I'm Gen X. Leave a thumbs up emoji.